We have the following scenario. Every time I have to go to SharePoint, I have to filter all the time the same exact filters. It's not something that takes a lot of time, but it's annoying. And it's something that I would prefer not to have to do every time I have to go into SharePoint. So for that we can create views that group by some information and have filters on them, so that we don't have to do any of those filterings or any of those group bys every time we need to see something. We just have it saved, and once we open SharePoint we can put some of those views by default, or we can just search and pick up the view that we want to see. But let me show you. This is my list. Basically you can see we have several elements with multiple columns, and every time I come I have to check how many submitted new changes we have. In this case these are change requests that we may have, and what I need to check is how many of them are submitted in status submitted, and also how many of them are submitted based on their change type. So for that, what I would do, I would come here, I would filter by, and then maybe let's check how many are a process change, for example. We check how many are process change. We have 2, then I know I have 1 submitted. Fine. Then the next one. I need to check how many of them are technical changes that are submitted. Okay, now I know I have 3. Now the next one, I have to go here and filter again by help function. And we have 1. And then we have others that have not even been selected the change type. Now, this is annoying, and this can be fixed. How do we do this? Let's remove all the filters, and we can create something that looks like this view. It will tell me all the different type of changes and how many we have in status submitted. You can see it here in the top side, in the top left corner. So, in order to do that, if we go from the beginning, we go to all the items, and the first thing we need to do is create a view. For that, we come here to all items, and we go to create new view. And we're gonna say, we're gonna group by change type. Let's call it change type submitted counter. Okay, we create this view. Now with this, the view looks exactly the same as it was looking before. Now we need to do the changes and save the view. For that, what we do is, first of all, we go to the column that we want to group by. We click on top of it and we group by the change. Now we have all the changes grouped by that specific column for their specific categories. It's important that it's a column that has categories. If it's free text, it's probably not going to work. Now the problem here is that if we look inside of them, we might find some that are in different status than the one we need. For example, in the process change, we have one that is draft needs approval. So we need to filter this view. For that, we will come here on the top. This is the filter pane, and it will open all the different fields that we can filter by. You will see that some of them we cannot filter by because they are free text or other type of filters. We'll go to the status and we will select only the submitted ones. And now, this one that we were having before, there's none of them that are not submitted. So if we close this panel, we can keep it all closed or all open just by checking here, or we can go one by one, depends how we want. And we go back to the change type, to the view, and we go to save view as. And it will give us exactly the same name we have of the current view. We save it. And now every time I go to all items, I can directly come here and go by group by content status or change type, all the different views that I may have. But we can even take it a little bit further and make this the default view. If we always want to check the same information, at least for us, we can create this the default view. Now we set current view as default. And every time we come here, if I go to the home page, we come to the home page, and from here I want to go to my change request, and we can see that our default view is basically the one that is change type unsubmitted.